Pep Guardiola gave us some beautiful. The editors and writers, especially those who cover Man City, were blessed with the goodness of some Pep Guardiola quotes. He was talking about, obviously, by the way, this is the very first time in European competition where these two teams are going to face each other, but both these managers obviously know each other really, really well. But Pep Guardiola was obviously asked about, his history so far in the Champions League with Man City, about overthinking it. And he said, look, in the Champions League, always I overthink a lot. Absolutely. That's why I had good results. I love to overthink and create stupid tactics. He went on and he said, tonight, I take inspiration. There'll be incredible tactics tomorrow. We're going to play with 12. You know what, Pep Guardiola, sometimes you're right, because I think the ref helps you every now and again. Oh, that's right.
Oh, boy.
That's right.
There we go. There we go.
Jimmy Conrad, let's begin with you, buddy. Man City, Atletico Madrid, the first time ever in European competition, but they know each other. Talk to me about this game. What do you think?
Well, I'm going to start with a stat that I found. And Manchester City have only lost one of their last 9 Champions League games beyond the group stage. 7 wins, 1 draw. And 1 loss. And that defeat obviously was to Chelsea last year. Now, since Pep took over at City in the 2016-2017 season, City have the highest win percentage of any team in the competition in non-group stage games. 64% win percentage. So, yes, I just wanted to bring that up because I think it relates to that quote that he had, that he does overthink, but to his point, he does have good results. He just doesn't have the big enchilada. Now, when Sheikh Mansour bought City back in 2008, or since then, he has spent $2 billion on players. That would be nice. I think any coach could probably have some success. 5 Premier League trophies since that time, 2 FA Cups, 6 League Cup trophies, but no big enchiladas with the Champions League. They have to win this at some point. My one concern, and I want to get your guys' thoughts on this, is the schedule, because they play Atleti at home. Then they play Liverpool at home this weekend. Obviously,
Huge
that
game.
Huge. I mean, could be the biggest game, the most decisive game in the Premier League this season. Then they play Atleti in Madrid, and then they play Liverpool again for FA Cup semifinals. I mean, it's just what a 2 weeks of games. Now, Liverpool obviously have the same schedule, but they're playing Benfica, who I will kick them, but I don't know if they're going to kick them as hard as Atletico Madrid. So I'm very curious, and we'll get into betting tips, but I would really refrain from giving out too much advice with regard to betting until you see the starting lineup, because they're juggling couple big competitions here, and I think Pep Guardiola will overthink because he's got these massive games.
Well, that journalist that asked that question, is he wrong for asking it? Because the proof is in the pudding. How can you go last year? How can you go into a Champions League final when your most important player is not Kevin De Bruyne? Offensively, yes, but Rodri. Every game you played Rodri, you won. Every big game in particular, and you decide to show up with Fernandinho. Overthinking has its cost. Yes, they're winning domestic trophies and everything, but less is more sometimes. We saw it in the previous years in the Champions League playing against the likes of a Lyon, and we saw it last year in the final. Now, eventually, this Manchester City team, you'd like to see the romanticism of this all, the beautiful soccer like he played in Barcelona, the domination in Bayern, but with Man City, because of the pressure, the domestic pressure that they're under in the Premier League, it's going to be a lot to juggle. Whenever I see a Manchester City team, I know that they're taking one match seriously when one player is on the field, Kevin De Bruyne. When you saw him on the field against Burnley, typically we've seen him rested for other games in the Premier League if a Champions League game is up. But the fact that he played against Burnley tells me that the Premier League is their focus against Liverpool over this match. Yes, do they want to get the result? Absolutely, because you want to set yourself up for a good second leg. But that Liverpool match is paramount.
It is big. It is big. I will counter, though, by saying that there is one coveted trophy, as Jimmy alluded to earlier, that Pep Guardiola still needs, and that's the Champions League with Manchester City. I think that he really wants this. And I think that, by the way, Miguel Delaney had a great article about this, just a history between Simeone and Pep Guardiola, and how Simeone really doesn't like Guardiola's style. Like, he hates it, actually. He wants to disrupt everything. There's, apparently, like, he has every possible scenario on how to defend and protect against a team like Man City. They, from a of course they respect each other, but from a tactical perspective, Jimmy, they absolutely detest each other. Like Simeone doesn't like that. Simeone looks at the painting that is Man City and just wants to destroy it. So to me, Pep Guardiola, because he wants this title so much, hopefully this will be an attractive game. Having said all of that, I just think that Man City is just too strong for even a side. By the way, Simeone obviously having just lost his father as well. That has complications, an emotional scenes at Wanda Metropolitano this past weekend. There's a lot going on here. I just think that overall, when you look at it on paper, Man City's just too strong.
Yes, I think that pound for pound, when it comes especially to execution, right? I think that Man City are a little bit better than that this season as compared to Atleti, who have been underwhelming, I think, the best way. And I think my issue with Simeone is sometimes he's so focused on destroying what the other team is trying to build that he doesn't allow his own talented players to go and do their thing. And he has a lot of talented players. Now they're coming off a big win themselves this past weekend. Now City got to play bottom feeders Burnley, and Atleti got to play bottom feeders Alaves. Joao Felix looked very good, very bright. I'm curious to see if he starts this one. He had 2 goals. Luis Suarez had 2 goals. A nice 4-1 win. That's not Simeone-like. He usually doesn't post those types of numbers, but it's a good momentum builder going into this. This is a tough one for me. I think that it's going to be close. The only odds that I was looking at was under 2.5 goals plus 105. I think it's going to be tight. I don't see Madrid or Atleti, trying to really extend themselves and allowing those gaps to exist. And if we look back what they did in the last round against Manchester United at Old Trafford, they won 1-0. They did what they had to do. They got their goal and they got the hell out of there with Diego Simeone getting stuff thrown at him. That's why he ran off the field. And then when you think about 2 years ago, they beat Liverpool at Anfield. Like, they have a pretty good recent track history of playing in England and doing what they have to do to get a result. And I could see them doing this. Now, they had the benefit of those being the second leg. They got to kind of set the tone, and the first leg was determined, and then they knew what they had to do in leg 2 to get a result. This is the opposite. So I'm kind of curious to see how they come out and with what kind of energy they come out, and where their block is. Is it going to be mid-block? Is it going to be in the low block? Low block, like parking the bus. Mid-block, are they going to try to stifle things in the middle, or are they going to go high press? I don't see them high pressing. Maybe at times they will, but ultimately I think I see they're going to sit back. I could see a 1-0, 0-0, 1-1. I really don't think it's going to go over.
Then. So you're giving it a 1-0, a tight victory for Manchester City.
Yeah, it's kind of how I see it. But I might even stay away from that. Again, I want to reemphasize, make sure you look at the starting lineups, because Man City does have Liverpool in 4 days after this. So
and to your point, Joao Felix, by the way, last 4 matches, 5 goals, 1 assist. This kid is on fire right
now. But then
Simeone
doesn't start him. If you follow Atleti, like, he's in fire, and then he'll be like, I'm going to go with Angel Correa, who I love. Correa
that's why
too.
He's on fire, though.
I don't know.
He's relieving the pressure. Michael Lahoud, include your predictions with this one. I know that we talked about it last night. By the way, mine changed a little bit. Jimmy's going for a slight victory for Man City. What do you say?
I'm going 1-1 draw.
Okay.
I think the Liverpool match is going to be hanging in the back of Pep's mind way too much, and rightfully so, because that match has a bigger bearing than just that game and the Premier League. That could set your tone for a demise in the Champions League as well, because doubt starts creeping in.
Yep.
If you lose, the tides turn. So
the demise, demise of Man City.
It's Pep's demise is the name of the movie. A big thing to look for, and Jimmy, you're spot on in terms of lineups for Manchester City. A big thing to look for that'll set the tone for Atleti is a back 3. Against Manchester United, they showed up with a back 3 and just said, you know what, we're going to sit in the mid block, at worst low block, and then counter you. We're going to shut down the middle of the park.
You can't do that against Man City, though. That's just asking for the monster to just eat you at some point.
But look at the people and players he can bring off the bench.
Maybe Luis Suarez, right? Not usually,
Correa, Cunha. You have depth on the bench, and on their day, every player on that bench is capable of one moment of brilliance, or in Suarez's case, absolute madness.
Yeah. To that point, though, Michael, Jimenez is out apparently. To that, so that would be a big loss. Yeah, that's a big loss. And I had it. I know that last night I said so. You have it as a draw, 1-0, Michael Lahoud.
Yeah,
Jimmy has a 1-0 I had it yesterday. I had it
reverse jinxing that, but go ahead. No, that was it. Just trying to reverse jinx it as an Atleti fan.
Jimmy.
Well, you could do the reverse psychology that James Benge always does and just say 1-0, but it's actually he always says one result and the opposite happens. So maybe that I'm gonna go. Last night I said that Atleti won't get a goal here. I think they might. I'm probably gonna go with a Man City win 2-1. It'll be tight. with a goal differential. So we're in agreement that it's going to be tight, I think.
So Man City to win and over 2.5 goals is plus 103. Man City to win and under 2.5 goals is plus 240. Just
interesting.
Out there. Yeah. And the under in general is plus 105. Just
so if you
under.
listen to Michael and Jimmy, everybody, you could get some money here because it could be
something
tight.
to consider. But look at the starting lineup. I'm telling you, look at both starting lineups. But City have a little bit more to juggle than Atleti at the moment.
Yeah.